New tonight, a major step in Omaha. Officials are celebrating the completion of a new water treatment plant.
Our Marlo Lundak got an inside look at the facility and joins us live now with the details. Hey, Marlo.
John, Jacqueline, in Midtown and downtown Omaha, stormwater and sewage all drains through the same drainage system. And that means when it rains, that water gets combined with a lot of debris, human waste, and even some harmful bacteria, and it then overflows the drainage system. That nasty water then gets dumped into the Little Papillion Creek, which eventually makes it down to the Missouri River, but not for long. This new water quality facility near Baxter Arena will curb the output of that potentially harmful and frankly gross water during wet weather events. It's an easy system. When it rains or snows, storm and wastewater from the area will flow into the facility. All the debris will be screened out and chemicals will then treat, disinfect, and clean that water. After that, it'll be re-released into our local waterways. The construction of the facility is part of the Clean Solutions Omaha program, which is a federally mandated project which ensures clean water quality in our local rivers and streams. Now, Mayor Gene Stothert and those involved in the project say this is the most important project when it comes to tackling that combined sewer overflow problem, which happens anywhere from 50 to 60 times every year.
When this high-rate treatment facility is fully operational, we estimate we will be over halfway to our goal to reduce combined sewer overflows and the impacts of potentially harmful bacteria from Omaha's combined sewer system. Our computer models estimate that we will be over 60% where we need to be to meet the requirements of the Clean Water Act.
Now, this is the most expensive project the city's Public Works Department has ever worked on, and it comes in at $93 million. But officials say that the project was on time and was on budget. Now, under the Clean Solutions Omaha program, there are 12 more projects to be completed, and a facility just like this one will be eventually built in north of downtown Omaha in the coming years. But for now, officials are celebrating this milestone here. Live in Exarban, Marlo Lundak, 6 News.
Well, fall is here.